Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Bronte and we're going to be doing a system update today. So I apologise if you're a regular viewer for my extended absence from YouTube. It was completely unintentional. I just got really busy and unfortunately didn't have time to sit and film videos for YouTube. So apologies for that, but here we are making a reappearance. Hopefully it will be a weekly appearance from now on, but we're not holding our breath. So as I said, I want to do a system update because I have kind of recently changed up my journal and planner system, and I thought it would be a nice video to come on here and to, chat about this sort of stuff. So yes. Okay, so I started the year with a Hemlock and Oak planner for my planner, a Hobonichi Weeks is my reading journal, and my Hobonichi Cousin as my journal. And I have, as you can see, just got 2 books at the moment. My reading journal has become something that, again, unfortunately, I just don't really have the time for. So I've put that to one side, and my Hemlock and Oak planner, as much as I really liked the Hemlock and Oak, it's very big and heavy and it wasn't portable. And so I was kind of using another notebook as like an everyday carry sort of thing, and then I was forgetting to kind of sync that book with my big planner, which I was leaving at home, and that's just no good because I'm a goldfish and forget things so easily, so I really need everything all in one place. So I decided to pull out my Planner Monkey Co. Freely Planned. This is the 2.0 version, which she launched for 2025. I pre-ordered this and was going to make a decision about which book to use when it arrived, because I had also pre-ordered the Hemlock and Oak. This was probably a bit of a rash pre-order because I didn't need it. I just loved it. So I did pre-order it. This is an undated planner, hence me starting the Hemlock and Oak, because that is dated, and so I decided, I should use the one that's dated, and the undated one I can save for another year or another time. So that time has arrived and I've put aside the Hemlock and Oak so it can have everything in one book and keep everything together, and this is small enough, light enough for me to carry this around. So yes, I'll talk through this first. So the Freely Planned, this version that I have is A5, which some people will be thinking, Bronte, that's not portable. A5, that's still a big size. I'm an A5 person. I really like this size, and I like having the big pages, and I like just having lots of space, basically. And I talk about portability because I live in London. I live in a big city I use public transport every day. I can't drive. I don't own a car. And I have to walk to the train station, get on a train, and then walk from the train to where I work. And that is about a total, over a mile of walking each way. And so I carry everything with me, and thinking about how heavy my bag is something that I think about that. So yeah, the Hemlock and Oak was very heavy, and it also is larger than A5. It's actually a US letter size, and I was unable to find a clear cover to fit it. And lots of people on YouTube in the comments and things have told me you could do this or that, but I just wasn't going to be able to DIY my own cover. And someone pointed out to me that Hemlock and Oak, they're a very sustainable company, and so it's kind of against their sustainability mission to make plastic covers, which is fair, totally fair. but the cover was gonna get trashed because it was like a kind of fairly thin cardstock cover. All that is to say, yeah, the Hemlock and Oak was falling out of favour in my mind, and a couple of weeks ago, no, a week and a half ago maybe, yeah, a couple of weeks, I was thinking about setting up my Freely Planned, and I just decided to do it, and I'm so glad. So I will talk through this setup with you. So this has got everything I need in it. It's my planner, it's my like to-do lists, it's got all of my like appointments, not that I really have appointments, but like work days and like shop notes about my shop and things like that. So yes, okay, so I have a clear cover on this book from Lauren Phelps Designs. This is the one that was on my cousin last year, so it's a little bit scuffed, and it's not pristine, but that's fine because this is going in my bag and coming with me to work and stuff, so it doesn't need to be pristine. It's not going to stay pristine. So yeah, I mainly decided to put this cover on because I love the pockets that this cover has. So there's 3 kind of horizontal pockets in this front section, and then in the back there's 2 like vertical pockets, and it's a really sturdy cover. And I did say I had this on my cousin last year. This has lasted a whole year, and it's, you know, still in really good nick. They're much better quality than the Midori covers, I will say. They're obviously more expensive, but hey ho. Anyway, okay, so in the front pockets here I've got like some little kind of a mix of functional and non-functional stickers. So I have some Paper Bits Co samplers, I have this stencil which I use for drawing trackers, and then some Coffee Monsters Co bean samplers. And then tucked in the kind of front of the cover I have some stickers I use for setup. So I have these week stickers from Planner Monkey Co. We don't really use week numbers in the UK. I mean, I have never really used week numbers, but I think it's a bit more of a European thing. And one of the companies that we order from regularly at work, at my job, they are a yarn company that mill things in batches. So not everything is always available. And if we want to check for a customer, they have a spreadsheet saying you can order this colour week X. So it's helpful to me to know what week number we're on, because sometimes like we'll be on like week 20 and they say, oh, sorry, not available till week 32. So, you know, there's no point in me saying to a customer, yeah, we can get that in for you, no problem, because it's a 12-week wait until the yarn is going to be available for us to order. Anyway, that's a long thing, but yeah, week numbers. I got these from Planner Monkey Co. when I bought the book. And then I've got some of these sheets from my shop, Dear Whoever. These are like the Pals line. So these are my functional sheets. So we've got a Poly Pals, a Planner Pals 01 and a Planner Pals 02. And then this one is a full sheet of this week. Then I've got some Coffee Monsters, these are the mini doodles, 2025 mini doodles on washi paper. I just have these in here for fun, and I totally didn't need these sheets, but I love them. I had to get them. I've got a Paper Bits Co. like cat expressions, and then some TCMC icon samplers. These are September and October. I like the colours. And then I've got some Planner Monkey Co. bits as well, which are more like deco-y. Although, I don't know, like this one, I just got this sheet, bit of a mess, but doing my best. Like, that's me, that's my life. And then I have these like skeleton hearts. This one, like Not Today Satan, and this You've Got This. I'm trying to just like put some fun stickers and like use some of my fun stickers throughout these spreads, because I just think it's nice, and it's nice to see those dotted in my pages. Okay, so that's in the front. Then I have got this piece of Coffee Monsters Co. vellum. I 100% copied Theory of Lauren here, because Lauren also has this vellum in the front of her version of this book. She has the Freely Planned 2.0, and yeah, Lauren put this vellum in there, and I was like, well, Lauren's done it, so I have to do it. I watched some of her recent videos on her freely planned book when I was setting this up for inspiration, so you should definitely go and check Lauren's videos as well if you haven't come across this book before and you are into it. You should go and watch Lauren's videos too. So I have this vellum as just like a little dashboard. I've got some sticky notes on here. It's stuck in with a piece of washi tape from the washi station, and then more sticky notes are in the front here. And this is on the like cardstock kind of fly leaf thing. Okay, and then we go into the planner. So we start with a double page like grid spread. I think this could be used for like a mood board or something, but I don't really need a mood board in my planner. So I'm just going to leave this blank, and if I need to like use it for something in the future, I can. And then there's 2 index pages, which I'm not really an indexer, but I might use this to index notes I make about my shop. I will see how many notes I make about my shop in this book. And then we have these like quarterly overviews. So there's 2 pages of those. I again don't really use this sort of spread. I think this sort of spread could make a cool index as well, but again, like I just said, don't really index. These also make really good tracking pages, but I just don't really, I'm not a big tracker either. So I really want to be the sort of person who has like really big, like full tracked, you know, pages and stuff, but I just can't keep up with them. Yeah, I'm a bit, like I said at the beginning, I have a really poor short-term memory, so I'll forget, and then like there's no hope of me backfilling a tracker, like I'm lost. So I'm just leaving these pages blank. So the weekly and monthly spreads are separate. They're not stacked together, so, or like kind of, what's the word, like they're not slotted throughout. You get a block of monthlies and then your block of weeklies. So let me flip to a blank. So it's across 2 double pages. So you get a really big habit tracker, which again, I'm not very good at tracking habits, so I haven't used it yet. Maybe I will one month, I don't know. Then we get like a blank grid page for kind of like a dashboard for the month, I suppose. And then we get the monthly spread, which is obviously very minimal, undated. So for May, I have not used a tracker. I've just stuck a sticky note with some notes on here. And I just made this little title here, May, and have written about things that are going to happen in my shop that month, and then like a priorities list of like stuff I really want to finish or like get done this month. And then here is the monthly spread. So this is quite like a basic overview of my month. I don't really do lots of stuff in my monthly spreads. It's really helpful to me to see the whole month because I'm a very visual person. I tend to remember events based on like where they are in a grid, in a month's grid. And I know that sounds really bizarre, but like if it's kind of like towards the bottom, then I know it's the end of the month, or like if it's right on the left hand side, I know that's happening on a Monday. It's weird maybe to say, but yeah, that's how my brain works. I have done a bit of decoration and have numbered this by hand, and then the days of the week up here are from Planner Monkey Co. A lot of my functional stickers are from Planner Monkey Co. because I just think that Sydney does the best functionals. I love them. And she also is really amazing because she offers typewriter font, and I don't think that really any shops offer a typewriter font sticker, and I love a typewriter font, so I really like Sydney's stickers. Although my UK friends did just find a new shop on Etsy who does offer typewriter font stickers, like functionals, and that shop is called By Gem Designs. So I will try and remember to link it in the description. But I just got an order from her, and the things are tucked in the back, so I'll show you those when we get to the back of the book. So, May, yes, okay. So I just have like my high level events, like subscription launch for my shop, my sister's birthday. My partner Chris was traveling for a lot of April and came back on the 7th of May. There's a pop-up shop I'm attending, and then in the green, which is the 4th colour in this Unijet stream. The green is, yeah, the Unijet stream, it's the 4th colour in this one. I have this 4-colour one with a pencil as well. My friend brought me this back from Japan, and you can get these in the UK, like, you know, you can get them from Stationery Pal and stuff as well, but this is very special to me because Jamie brought this all the way from Japan. So yeah, I use the green to put in when direct debits are leaving my bank account. They're only little ones like Audible and like Kindle Unlimited and like my phone bill and stuff, because I pay my rent, like I manually pay it every month. And what else? Oh, work days, yeah. But that's pretty much what goes into this calendar. I wrote some reflections on my recent shop update for May in this May calendar because, I don't know, it just seemed like a logical place to put them. And I felt like if I put them in the notes pages towards the back, then it might get lost or I wouldn't refer to it as being like May specific. It made sense for me to put it here. I might do something different for June, but we'll see. Okay, so I've got some stuff written in for June. And then I've set up my June calendar. I am out of office for a week in June because I'm going away for my birthday. I am turning 30 next month. So me and my partner are going to New York for my birthday, which I'm super excited about. And we're going with our friends and we're going to meet friends there. And I'm so excited. Yeah. So I've got that written in, and then like subscription launch and shop update and like my birthday and payday. So that's, oh, and my work days, of course. That's all that's really written in here for now. But I might add some stuff, or probably will add some stuff at a later date. I don't have my direct debits in here, as you can probably see, so I should add those. And then I haven't set up the July overview, but I have set up the calendar. I think now I'm settled into this book, I will set up all of the months to the end of the year in here. So yeah, those are here. And then, okay, so I started this book on the 12th of May. So I filled out it was a really good day to start on a Monday. So yeah, I filled up this calendar, or this spread for that week. And then this is this week. So I modified the weekly calendar when I was setting this first spread up, and then watched some of Lauren's videos and was like, oh, that's not how Lauren does it. I'm going to do it how Lauren does it. So this is a bit of a different spread to the ones I have going forwards. Let me show you what a week looks like without anything. So you get this week to view kind of box or boxes on the left. There's a small kind of narrow space down the side, and then you get one grid page, and then the weeks go on, you know, like that, back to back. So the pages with the plain grid also have these notches, which I don't know if the camera will pick up, but basically they're to divide the page in half vertically and horizontally. There's notches, so you can kind of divvy up the space as you wish. So I set up this first spread similar to how I was using my Hemlock and Oak book, where all of my daily to-do lists would be on the same page as my weekly overview. But this page also, this book also has like, I think 180 blank grid pages. So I realized I didn't need my to-do lists to be here. I could just do them in the back. And so that's why I've kind of modified the spread going forwards. So I have a weekly overview list. I just drew around the boxes basically and short, you know, I brought them in this way, and did like day specific things that were happening. I have my currently reading, a list of stuff to do for social media, like for Instagram, And then because I had all of this space, I was like, oh shit, I don't need all of this space. But I did have this list I needed to do stuff for my shop update. And then I ordered some things from Etsy on the Thursday, so I just like wrote about that. That's because it's, you know, I'd spent some money, so yeah. So this week is more kind of regular now, or this is what it's going to look like. So we have the week to view with my daily tasks, or like day specific things. So Mondays I always do work for Patreon, and Fridays should be the day when I film a YouTube video, but unfortunately that hasn't happened, but we're doing it. I have my work days in here, and then I have put some day specific things that I needed to get done, but these also went on my daily to-do lists. So then down this little skinny space, I have been writing in my currently reading. I just like to put this in, like you don't need to put this into your planner, but I kind of like to see how my weeks have gone and then like what I was reading. I don't know why anyway, yeah. So I finished 2 books last night, so I need to add something new, or when I start something new later, I will add to this list. And then I've got my socials, the stuff, and then some decoration. And then I have a week to view, a like weekly to-do list. So this is kind of like stuff I need to get done throughout the week. And I divided the page vertically in half, and one of these tasks is finalize my collection for June for my shop, and I realized I should have expanded on that, so I just drew these little lines and added the stuff that I needed to like expand upon there. I have some trackers I've drawn in here for medication I take every day and for whether or not I've posted on Instagram. These are the only real trackers I can keep up with. I think that having them on my daily and on my weekly pages is much better than having them separately, because I don't always reference a monthly spread, but I will always reference a weekly spread, if that makes sense. And then yesterday on the train to work, I was just making some notes about this video that I wanted to kind of some points I wanted to make. So yeah, and I've got a sticky note for an idea I had about a sticker that I want to make for my shop. So I've got space for like notes as well as lists, which is nice. So I've set up for next week, and obviously there's nothing filled out yet. I tend to come and do these like fill out tasks and stuff on a Sunday or a Monday morning if I have not been in a planner zone on the Sunday. So yeah, this is how we're going. I've set up a couple of spreads in advance, and I'm using these stickers, these date stickers from Paper K for June. So I just laid them all down until like June was done. So the 1st of July is on a Tuesday, so yeah. So that's the weekly, and then at the back there is my daily section. So I made this kind of like little divider thingy just by folding one of the pages in half and then washi taped on top. So these are some tapes from the Coffee Monsters Co, and I just liked all the colours together and thought it was like a cute little divider thing, I don't know. So that's there. And then I just started my daily lists. So I used to not make a list for every day of the week, but since starting this planner, I have made a list for every day of the week, and I've found it really beneficial. Because, you know, I'm doing stuff for my shop in the evenings, and I'm like editing videos and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's really helped me. And you can see Fridays are normally the days where I have the longest lists. And Mondays I work from home on Patreon and like content stuff. So those 2 days I tend to have quite long lists. But yeah, this is just how we're going. And then I've also got shop notes back here. So I'm going to be boxing off the shop notes with these kind of highlighter boxes. I copied these out from a different notebook just so I had them in here. so the boxes obviously won't be so big. It'll probably be more like this if I have like an idea for the shop, or I need to make notes about stock levels or something like that, you know, anything to do with my shop. I'm gonna just draw a box around it. So these are my lists for this week. And I'm doing I didn't do any deco here, but I've started doing a little bit of decoration, and I've done some decoration for like a few spreads in advance. I didn't mean to, it just happened. So yeah, I just really like using my stickers and my washi tapes, so it's nice to be able to do that. So this is today's list, and then I made a list that was weekends for this weekend because today's Friday. So yeah, that's how it's going in here, and I'm really pleased that I started this book. I think it's made me more productive. I think I have been keeping on top of things a bit more, and yeah, it's really helped me out. So I'm very pleased with this book. And then yeah, in the back I just have more sticky notes, which I've got a bit crumpled, and more functionals. I've got all of my stickers from, well, these are my script stickers from Planner Monkey Co. And then I've got some like more deco-y ones from Planner Monkey Co. And then what's in here? More Planner Monkey Co. Days of the Week. These are my stickers from By Gem Designs. So I've got, this is called a redate kit, and then these date squares, days on craft paper, more days of the week and more days of the week. So because this planner doesn't have any dating, I do really like to use stickers because I think it just makes the spreads look a bit more cohesive somehow than like them all being handwritten. I don't know. Then I've got some icons from these tiny washi icons from Puppet Monsters Co. that I use for things. Oh, that's a sampler that came with this book from Planner Monkey Co. More thing. Yeah. Oh, I have this. These are good for trackers as well. Oh, and some date dots and a gift voucher. And more sterling. These came with my common planner that I had last year, so I thought I can use them up. I saved them from when I dated the book, so that's everything. Okay, I have a sticker on the back from my shop, and then the things on the front. This is from Georgia Journals, and then this kind of clapperboard. This is a card that I've washi taped on. This is from some sort of fern from a recent order from her that I got, and as soon as I got them I was like, oh my god, that would be so cute as like a cover, like a thing to go on a planner cover, because it's got this like director and like production number and stuff, and I just thought production number is 2025 and then like director is me, so yeah, I thought that was cute. So that's that. Okay, so now let's look at my cousin. So this has remained largely the same from the beginning of the year. Well, apart from the fact that it's getting really chunky, which is really nice. So I have been writing a lot more notes in here to do with my reading than in my reading journal, and that's why my reading journal's kind of been phased out. So for example, let me show you yesterday. Okay, so this is the spread for yesterday. I haven't had space to do any journaling because I was making notes. And yesterday I finished reading 2 books. I finished Foundry Side by Robert Jackson Bennett, which was fantastic. Would really recommend his books. And then I also finished reading A Study of Blood and Ichor by Katia Black. I finished that on my Kindle. And I finished both of those before bed. So I finished Foundry Side and I was like, well, I'll move to my other book because I wasn't ready to sleep. And then I finished that one too. So then I was ready to sleep. So anyway, yes, this morning I came and I wrote these reviews for my books. This is the sort of thing that would have previously gone in my reading journal, but there's something, I don't really know how to describe it. It's like me just feeling like it's easier to have everything in one place, which I'm sure lots of people feel. It doesn't even sound so ridiculous, or like it's not that difficult for me to describe in actual fact. It's just that I want everything to be in one place. So that's why these reviews have been going in my journal. And this is kind of like, it's a journal, but it's also like just like a place to like dump thoughts and like notes and yeah, everything. So I do use like a commonplacey type dot system, which I have a key to here. So I use the Stalogy dots, and I have a knitting category, a books category, and a planners / like stationery category. And then I use this scribble from Paper K for personal notes. And I use this big green dot as a reference item, which I use on the sides of a page. For example, here, can you see? Here. So I can kind of see on the edge of the page where I've made something I need to reference. Here's another one. Currently inked. And this one is also about ink. So maybe those are ink references only, I don't know. So when I'm making notes, if it's not a journaling entry, I use my uni Jetstream for everything. If I'm writing a journaling entry, it's in fountain pen. So this week I'm using my TWSBI Eco in Fine, which is inked with Oblation Olive from Oblation Papers and Press in Portland. I got this ink when I was in New York last year, and I'm so glad because I freaking love this color. So yeah, the journaling entries are in a different color. Everything else is like a note basically, or like not a journaling entry. It's like writing, but not specifically. This is what I did today, if that makes any sense at all. It makes sense in my brain. I don't know if it makes sense in actuality. So yesterday I also got some new yarn at work for a new knitting project and made a note about that. So there's this knitting dot here, and I know that this is knitting. So I can flick through and find reading notes quite easily here. You know, we've got the green. This one, is planners I've been thinking about. And yeah, we go along like this. There's another book review here. I try and use book cover stickers. I don't have a book cover sticker for absolutely everything, but now I have a printer. I'm trying to make book cover stickers for everything. It should say also, people ask me how I make my book cover stickers. It's not hard. Like it's like very, probably like low tech. I just print 16 photos per page of A4, and I print them on like matte white sticker paper, and then I just cut them out with scissors and stick them in. It's very easy. You don't even need to use sticker paper. That's fine. Here, more knitting notes, more planner notes. I don't know. There's some personal notes here about shop update stuff, I think. More about having to do lots of stuff I needed to do, I think. Anyway, I think you get the idea. There's lots of knitting things. Reading. That's a reading dot. Yeah, and you can see I try and put some photos in here. I have ephemera I put in here, so I got some new tattoos on this day. These are some pictures from a visit I went to my mum and dad's. That was part of the visit. New kitten. Ephemera. Yeah. So this is just kind of like big book of everything, apart from planning. But I don't know. I just I love filling out these pages, and I love when the pages are like incredibly full. Yeah, I think this is a good example of a really full spread, because I actually written over the date here. And yeah, this makes me happy. This is my ink index, my ink decks. These are all of my inks that I have, either as full bottles or as samples. And I had been wanting to do this for ages, and I was off sick on the Tuesday, so had time to do that. So yeah, that's how this book is going. I'm really loving it, and it doesn't ever feel like a chore. I do sometimes backfill, and I do sometimes, I think you will have seen this week, I've got an empty spot. For Sunday last week, I've got an empty spot, but at some point I will run out of space on one of my other pages, and I'll come back and I'll fill it in here. And I'll just say like when that entry is from, or like, I don't know, if I have ephemera that won't fit on a page, I'll add it in here. And I have done that quite a few times. I think I did that right at the beginning of May. Let's see. Here, okay, I had this spot empty for this Thursday, but I wrote here Sunday 11th of May. So I came back to this spread 10 days after the date on the page and added this. So yes, that is The Cousin. I show this book every week on my Patreon. I'm going to do a bit of self-promotion, apologies. I have a Patreon where every single week you get a video. I'm not super religious about like which day of the week it goes up, apologies. I do film on a Monday. But yeah, so there's like a year's worth of videos like back catalogued on Patreon, which I call a weekly update. So I will talk through my pages for the previous week. We'll look in my planner and look at those pages. And then I talk about Happy Mail, and like sometimes I talk about knitting if I can remember. I talk about books that I've read, because I guess you gathered I do read quite a lot. And yeah, it's £3 a month on the Patreon. It's only ever been £3 a month for that. And I feel like maybe, I don't know, Megan was talking in her recent video about how she thought maybe she should put her Patreon up. So I don't know, it's just like a really nice little chunk of income for me every month. It really helps me out. So yeah, that's my my spiel. So yeah, I think that's it for this kind of update. I just have these 2 books, and they are ticking along very nicely, as I'm sure other people are who are like big into journaling and planning. I am thinking about 2026, and I'm wondering for 2026 if I would just get a plain, like an undated notebook instead of the Cousin, because I did take out the weekly spreads of this. I have a video from the beginning of the year about that. I modified this book so it goes straight from the kind of inside cover to the daily pages, which Cousins, if you're not familiar with the Hobonichi Cousin, that's not what the book does. It has monthly spreads and weekly spreads as well, but I removed those pages. So yeah, it makes sense to just buy a plain notebook for next year because it's much cheaper. So I think I might get a Stalogy notebook. That's where my thoughts are at the moment. And I will use these, have these date stickers in here that are from Planner Monkey Co. I will use those to date the pages in Stalogy. But we'll see how I'm feeling. More towards the time of planner season, because it's the end of May. It is not planner season, even though, oh my goodness, there have been planner sneak peeks happening already. Wonderland 222 always goes so early with the sneak peeks, and I've seen that they're launching a brand new layout for 2026, so yeah, it's all go. Okay, so I think I'm ready to stop talking and let you go on about your day. So yes, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have questions, please do leave me a comment. it may take me a little bit to reply to the comments, so it may take me a little bit of time to reply to the comments, but I see all of your comments and I'm really grateful, and I will reply as soon as I am able to. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever you are doing. Goodbye.